The hardest part of learning things is learning how to convey what you've learned or what you understand or the knowledge that you have obtained, and to show people through the channels that you've learned. I think part of it is you have to hope that people are ready to accept the information that you have acquired over time. And when you think about it, it's crazy because when you are in uncharted water, a lot of people don't know that they want this information. So you have to try to spoon feed it to them in a way where it piques their interest to where they want to come back for more. And that's part of the problem, because a lot of people don't know that they need this. And the process takes, however long it takes. It might take 20 minutes, it might take 2 weeks, it might take months, it might take years, but there's different levels of consciousness, and this is how you open up the consciousness levels by reading words. Words is what show you the pathway to enlightenment. Living your everyday life where you're not reading anything, or you're reading fictional books, which also in fictional books, those books actually have a lot of information in them that will push you towards enlightenment as well, but not enlightenment in the right hand of knowledge, just the left hand, because it's not based or founded on truth, which truth is law. And law, there's two different levels of it. There's the flesh law, and then there's the spiritual law. But people don't know that a lot of what Christ was saying is metaphysics, and was told to Noah, and told to Shem, told to Abraham, and even in the cities of Samaria. A lot of people don't know that these things was brought forth, that a nation that was dead must come back through the Son that was sent to help the earth. Christ didn't just come to help Israel, he came to help the earth from the wickedness of the left hand. But when you are at the bottom levels of consciousness, you don't get that aspect of the situation. So when you're at the bottom level of consciousness, you're dealing with the low level beings that move through society, right? So, and then when you get to the high level beings, which deal with the creator being, then you get to see what the lower beings or the lower level of consciousness is for. The lower level of consciousness is to usher people forward, right? And then it makes you weary if you study the same thing continuously. So you have to start to find new things to study, and then correlate that to what you already know, and then go back to what you already knew to solidify that or make it stronger in the knowledge that you have obtained by moving forward. This is the perpetual motion of knowledge, and it comes through books, reading. So when somebody tells you there is no gods or gods aren't real, it's because where they're at in consciousness is at the lowest level that it can be. And those lowly levels, they feed off of ignorance and stupidity. And I don't like to call people stupid or ignorant of for anything, but they feed off of these type of negative energies. So you have to will yourself forward into the positive or the righteous side of information, and then you can leave the lowly level of consciousness. Everything has its purpose and its place. And this is why, most people miss what's going on, because they get this thing where people are telling them not to read metaphysics books, not to read about the gods, not to read pseudo or anything else other than what they might have read. So they'll come and say Jesus wasn't real, Jesus was fake, these stories were stolen from Egypt, when they're just blindly keeping themselves away from knowledge. They're being led by the blind. But those that can see push forward to see how everything correlates from the human aspect, right? So when you pay attention to that and you find out a human being is the combination of two different things, material and non-material. The non-material is light, right? The material is everything that we're part of, which is clay, dirt, trees, everything that is in the material world, space, the stars, the moons, all that, right? We're part of that. Okay? So when you pay attention and you start to see what a human actually is, he's actually greater than his counterparts that are trying to usher him into something beyond what he knows himself to be. And this is what Christ has been trying to convey to the nation of Israel, because they were the chosen ones to be ushered into the greatness of the Father, which is the light. A lot of people don't understand that. They think that the light is just, or the Father is just a being that just sits there. They gave the Father no form, right? Christ doesn't give the Father any form. That's why the Father is called I Am, because he just exists. It's not a mother, it's not a woman, it's not a man, it's neither female nor male. But the beings that come out of it are female and male. And they are the first humans, or first man and woman, and first humans, I would say. I wouldn't say humans, I would say man and female. We are the product of that consciousness, and then we're the lowly level of that consciousness, but we're actually greater because we're made up of the two consciousnesses, which is darkness and light. But when you adhere to the darkness, you miss what the light has to convey, and the light only deals with vibration. See, and that's where people say, oh, well, you're reading out of a book, books lie, and these are all fabrications. Well, that's your problem. You don't understand vibration and light, right? And the way that light conveys itself. What if light doesn't talk in the way that we talk? So why would they come here, right? They only talk through whatever they may talk through. And that's part of the problem with a lot of people. Their consciousness level is unable to adhere to the greater aspect of self. That's what the problem is, the greater aspect of self. So if you can't adhere to that, you're stuck. You're stuck on your lowly level. And this is what Christ was trying to convey. The first begotten of the light. The love out of this man, this being, is outstanding, because he went from the first begotten, the first light to be made, to come here to talk to the last light to be made. How many kings you know will put on rags and go out and be among others, be among the homeless, sit with them and talk with them? This is on a higher level than that, way higher level, and he did that. So when you start to realize there's higher levels of consciousness, you get told these things and you get revealed these things. Christ was prophesied to come from before even Noah and the flood. So I'm Furious Black, man, and I hope I helped you figure it out a little bit, or at least think about it. At least say, you know what, I'm not gonna let anybody hinder me. I'm gonna go and study for myself and see if I could, come upon information that will help me become a better person. So with that, I'm Furious Black, and I extend the hand out to everybody else.